Greetings, beloveds. There comes a point in the moment of creation when you come to recognize you've gone through the states, the keys, the moment of desire to remember yourself, the intention to do as much, allowing everything that you have put in the way to be removed, and then the acceptance of the truth of you through that cycle of ascension, that cycle of incarnation. You come back to the truth of yourselves. You come to see that the words of each of the lessons, the words that are being spoken to you, can apply to every instance. You come to see that you are indeed not a victim of the world that you see, but instead it is a mirrored reflection of every thought that you have, every feeling that you have. The attack thoughts are you only attacking the aspect of self that you believe is outside of you, and ultimately it is attacking of yourself, the small self, egoic self. And then you come to realize that truly there is nothing that can be attacked, for none of it exists. And herein lies a sense of freedom that is everything that you've been looking for. For what you are looking for is the very aspect of you that is causing you to look in the first place. It is much like a catch-22 or cat chasing its tail. And when you are able to pause, when you are able to say, maybe it's not the way I have thought that it is. Maybe I am not the way I have thought myself to be. Maybe there is more to this than meets the human eye. And you begin to turn that gaze rather than outwards in a dualistic manner, inwards, and you come into yourself in stillness. And instead of seeing yourself as this tiny particle, you begin to have the experience of the grandeur of the beingness of love that you are, of light that you are. So when you have defined yourself down to these moments of, I am this way, or I am that way, or they are this way, or they are that way, come to recognize, beloveds, that you have labeled an aspect of God's creation, an aspect of divinity, with something that is not of the truth. It is not of the light. And it can be merely swept away, blown away, cleaned away through the altering of your mind, for it is your mind that is the creative function. And as you bring yourself to bear, and as you begin to take more and more responsibility for your circumstances and realize that you have thought yourself into the situation, you've painted yourself into your landscape of your existence and of your reality, you will indeed come to recognize that as the artist that you are, you can completely begin anew. You can allow yourselves to think in a different way. And as you think differently, you join with other aspects of self that are awakening as well. The more of you that allow, the more of you that accept, you come together. There is a frequency that occurs. You are raised, you are elevated. And you no longer see yourself as these mere pinpoints of frustration and anger and humiliation and sadness and regret and shame and guilt. The names that you call yourself, beloveds, the things that you say about yourselves, the things that you say about others, the gossip, all of it is so far from the truth of you. And we are here to remind you there is not one amongst you that is not as I am. There is not one amongst you that has not walked this path with me. If you allow yourself to remember, you will see that we have done this journey together, that you have felt what I feel, and I have felt you. And you will come to know that we are one and the same. You will come to know that you are indeed the living embodiment of the Creator. The small egoic mind says this is not possible. The small egoic mind says, Yeshua, we understand that you could have done that. We understand that you could have been that, but we cannot. And that is the beginning of the fallacy. For everything that I am, you are. Allow that to sink in. Allow yourself to hear the chattering in the mind that says, that's impossible. Think of the greatest among you, and that is who you are. Think of the lowest among you, and that is who you are. And when you can begin to see that all are of the same ilk, you begin to see the thinking that you have used that have allowed you to think any other way. You may even chuckle at yourself. You may even find humor in all things and in all circumstances. You are the insects, and you are the gods and the goddesses. You are the creator beings. And you are indeed the ones who clean the toilets and scrub the floors. They are all aspects of you. And for any part of you that you reject, any part of you that you deny, it is a denial of self. There is one way in which God relates to all, and that is through love. Can you allow yourself 1 minute, 5 minutes, to love all that you see? What if you could fall in love with the walls, the trees, the beings that are before you? What if you could ask, Father, show me how I can love more? Show me how I can be of service today. What would you have me say, and what would you have me do? And allow yourself to be in alignment with the mind and the will of God. For the more that you practice this, the easier it becomes, like anything. The more that you allow yourself to remember, it is literally putting the pieces back together that have seemed so fragmented and so separated from one another. You have beings that have come into your life by choice that apply pressure, that make you see the aspects of you where you have forgotten yourself deeply. They are usually those who are closest to you. It is easy to cast aspersions upon those that seem far away. Yet what happens when it is within your own reality, within your own vicinity, within your own home? Paint them with a paintbrush of love. Paint yourself with a paintbrush of love. And allow yourself to live within the truth that you and I are one, that you and God are one, and that you are truly the most magnificent creation. For that is the truth of you, beloveds, the truth of us all. call upon us, we will remind you until every breath that you breathe and every thought that you think is thought with us. We will continue to remind you. Our love and our blessings are with you eternally, and we will speak with you again and again